Hello everyone, today's video we'll be talking about doing a recording about both the original and the remake to My Bloody Valentine from 1981 and 2009. I recently did a video stream with my good friend Villainous Vixen. The live stream link will be in the description below, and head over to our YouTube channel, check out our content, and describe to our content. I had a lot of fun doing this stream with her. I am very excited for more collaboration with her in the near future with Villainous Vixen. First off, happy Valentine's Day. By the time this video will be posted, it'll be posted on Valentine's Day. This is something I've been wanting to do some time, but for a while I had to put it on hold and had other personal things get in the way. For instance, back in February 2022, that's when I wanted to do this video, My Bloody Valentine, but around that time my friend Chris Mano had passed away. I needed to take a break from making videos. Now onward. Before diving into this video, confession to make. I don't like Valentine's Day. I never understood the point of this holiday. Every day is love. We don't need one holiday out of the year to celebrate love. Sorry everyone. Also on a side note, there aren't that many Valentine's Day horror movies. All I can think of is obviously My Bloody Valentine, both the original and the '09 remake. This is considered the first Valentine's Day horror movie. There was also Valentine from 2001, which was god-awful, and last year's Hard Eyes, which I thought was okay and decent, but that'll be for another time. I know what you're going to say in the comments. There are other Valentine's Day horror movies. Please, feel free to let me know in the comments on other Valentine's Day horror movies I'm not aware of. Or heck, just like Christmas, what are your favorite alternative Valentine's Day movies that you like to watch instead of stupid, dumb, cheesy rom-coms on Valentine's Day? Do you like to watch Valentine's Day horror movies that take place on the holiday? Or do you watch a horror movie that you like that has a love story like Bride of Chucky or The Bride of Frankenstein? Let me know in the comments. Alright, now on to the original My Bloody Valentine from 1981. The original My Bloody Valentine is another typical holiday slasher movie where it draws elements from Black Christmas, Halloween, and Friday the 13th combined together. You combine these movies together and you get this movie. Unlike Halloween, Black Christmas, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Black Christmas took place at a sorority sister college. The original Texas Chainsaw Massacre took place in the middle of nowhere in Texas, and Halloween took place in the middle-class suburban area. This movie takes place in a small laid-back countryside town in Pennsylvania. Seeing the workers in construction reminds me of where I live in upstate New York, but I never worked in a mine shaft. No thank you. After watching this movie, I'll probably never work in the mine shaft again after watching this movie. In the remake, it felt like a city and less off the grid, whereas in the original, it was completely off the grid. From watching this movie, see how the townspeople really love the holiday. After a long day of work and the townspeople are coming together and are planning a Valentine's Day party event. While it's not explained, the mine workers have probably been with their girlfriends for Lord knows how long until this massacre night. When Harry Warren kills the mine workers, it causes tragedy for the girlfriends because they've been with their boyfriends for a long time and it's probably their only loves of their lives. But Harry Warren does kill the mine worker's girlfriend. My friend Jennifer asked me on the stream, would I have gone to this Valentine's Day dance party? My answer was no. I'd rather stay home and get drunk and not get killed. I'm kidding, but seriously, I would not go to this Valentine's Day dance party. When they're cooking hot dogs, they find a real heart inside in the pot, and my response to this was, eat your heart out. When the workers go down the mines with their girlfriend, I'm thinking to myself, there's a killer on the loose. Well, I found this part claustrophobic and scary being underground, not knowing where the killer is at large. But still, who the heck would go down the mines on Valentine's Day with their boyfriends? I guess these women found it sexy how dirty their boyfriends were working at a dirty job. The movie opens with the girl who's just about to have sex, but then she gets murdered. The question is, did she even know who the guy was, or just happily randomly run into down the mines and think, oh, this guy could be sexy behind the mask. I'll do him anyway. And look what that turned out for her. Harry Warren is the main villain of this movie. Before I saw this movie or knew anything about it, I knew about this character from going to horror conventions, seeing people dress up as the character. The way Harry Warren breathes is between Michael Myers and Darth Vader. Harry Warren was a killer who killed people on Valentine's Day. The background story Harry Warren goes was that he was a mine worker who got trapped in a cave, and after two supervisors neglected their work to attend the town's Valentine's Day dance, Warren was the only survivor, had no other choice but to kill and eat his co-workers to stay alive. In a way, a little Shining reference joke. You mean they ate each other? It's okay, Mom. I know everything about cannibalism. I learned it all on the TV. You see, it's okay. He learned it on the TV. In a way, the supervisor that failed to supervise and failed doing their job, keeping an eye on Harry Warren and the other workers that died. This kind of reminds me almost similar identical how like in the first Friday the 13th movie, how like Jason was thrown in the river and drowned. While he drowned, the camp counselors had sex and they had no idea that he died drowning. Well, I think the villain Harry Warden has an interesting story background. I like the look of the character, but too bad he not become iconic like Michael Myers, Jason Voorhees, or Freddy Krueger or Pinhead. The part when Harry Warden kills the old lady and someone finds her decapitated head in the laundromat dryer, Lord knows how long her decapitated head was in that machine. I will say, that's a very creative and scary kill in a horror movie. From owning this movie on Blu-ray, it has the original cut showing the original negative gore effects from this movie that were cut. The NBA cut this part when this movie came out, just like Friday the 13th other slasher movies that came out at the same time as these movies. Another reason why the MPA cut 9 minutes of this movie out was because around this time this movie came out, John Lennon had been shot, and a lot of horror movies like this of the 80s, there was a major backlash against violent movies. This makes no sense, and this movie had no connection to John Lennon whatsoever. I forgot to mention when I was talking about Harry Warden, not to jump ahead of the remake, the Harry Warden design looked the same in the remake. Nothing much different or changed up in the remake to Harry Warden's design. A guy sitting in a truck passenger seat opens up a box of chocolates. There's a scene in this movie where a guy is sitting in a truck passenger seat, he opens up a box of chocolates, and wouldn't you know it, it was a real heart, no chocolates. Very good and well done practical effects. After seeing this movie, you'll never see her buy a box of chocolates the same way again. When a guy goes to get beer and the girl is waiting to have sex with her boyfriend, this made me think of Halloween, anyone? A guy at the bar explains the background story in Harry Warden, the myth or legend, reminding me of Crazy Ralph from Friday the 13th. But just like in Friday the 13th, no one believes him, and look what that turns out for these characters in this movie. But this is very common in horror movies. An old man or woman explain the background horror story that no one believes. From rewatching this movie as I've gotten older and more viewings, I've analyzed the love triangle between TJ, Sarah, and Axel. Despite that TJ is the hero in this movie, I hate saying this, he and Axel are jerks and don't want to respect Sarah's wishes. It's not that she doesn't love TJ or not want to be with either one or the other. She just wanted some space and not want to lose either one or the other. She wanted to be neutral with TJ and Axel, like Switzerland, but I don't want to be Switzerland! While TJ was gone, Sarah and TJ broke up before he left, and she'd been dating Axel for a while. The love for Sarah that she still has for TJ is still there, but it's just not the same ever since he left and came back to town. While TJ was not perfect, he was still a better person, especially how aggressive and angry he was about how things were different since he came back to town. Whatever TJ and Sarah had a long time ago, that love never went away. Sometimes you don't always get that love back from a familiar first love, whereas Axel was a complete dick. There was nothing likable about this character in this movie. He was very domineering towards Sarah, did not respect her wishes. When he sees TJ is back in town, he gets angry and jealous, thinking that he's trying to take Sarah back away from him. First off, you're not married to her, and get off her back on forcing her on who to like or who she wants to be with. The way this movie ends, we find out that Axel was the killer. TJ saves Sarah, as it turns out we learned that Axel witnessed his father being murdered by Harry Warden over 20 years ago. It was very creepy the way this movie ends. We find Axel gets stuck, cuts his arm off, and Axel speaks from blood loss and Sandy laughs maniacally that he's still alive and that he will return one day to kill again. This part frightened me. Last year at Chiller Theory, I saw the guy who directed this movie at a distance, but I did not meet him. Believe it or not, this is Quentin Tarantino's favorite slasher horror movie, but then again, he loves a lot of grindhouse, low-budget B-movie horror movies, Quentin Tarantino. The acting of this movie is mediocre, hit or miss sometimes. Let's just say no one's winning an Oscar for this movie. TJ, Axel, and Sarah are okay, decent written characters, but the rest of these other characters are your usual typical cliche in slasher movies. No one's gonna live and die for a high kill count, and as Scream says, because they broke the rules, we all know we'll live and die and survive in these movies. Harry Warden has an interesting background story. I think his look design is cool. Well, not a great movie, a decent solid slasher film. I don't mind revisiting this movie every now and then. As me and my friend Wolfman Sam say, junk food movies, a good movie to shut your brain off for an hour and a half. Now into the 2009 remake, My Bloody Valentine. Well, I didn't hate this movie or love it. I'm not saying it's one of the best horror remakes, not the same level as The Thing, The Fly, and The Blob remakes, but it's one of the okay fair remakes compared to other horror remakes at this time in the 2000s, where they butchered horror fans with remakes to classics. They did their best and tried with this one. I'll give them some credit, which I'll dive into soon. The problem with modern day horror remakes they try too hard to to recreate was already done before in the past. This movie, they did its best to change some things up and not copy the original too much. But of course, it's never a horror remake without tributes and homages. Just like the original My Bloody Valentine, this is also going to be a spoiler right here, just so you know in advance. No particular order where to start with this remake. In this movie, Axel's the sheriff, but he makes the old Axel less of a dick. He's a terrible husband. He cheats on his wife. The Axel in this version is a bigger prick than the original Axel. Also, Axel in this remake was not husband of the year, or heck, he was not even father of the year. In the original, Axel was the killer. In this movie, they changed it up. TJ was the killer this time. He had some kind of like multiple split personality, like Jekyll and Hyde. But I'll admit, when I first saw this, I thought Axel was going to be the killer again, but I was wrong. I guess because when this was being made at the time, the writers thought this is a remake, they need to change it up. It's true what they say, woman's intuition. Sarah knew Axel was cheating on her. Axel was not working late at night. The finale comes down between Sarah with a gun on choosing between Axel, her husband, and TJ, her former ex-boyfriend, not knowing who the killer is. Seeing TJ and Sarah trying to reconnect is okay, just like the original, love is still there, but not the same in Sarah can't just leave Axel and their son behind. Plus, it's not possible to get back together with TJ, especially as being gone for 10 years. After TJ encountered with Harry Warren in the late 90s after a date night gone wrong, he left 10 years later. He comes back, not sure he will sell his dad's business because this will affect the town's economy, putting people out of work. When people see TJ back in town, they really hate his guts. Before the killer reveal, when Axel runs into TJ suspecting him, he tells TJ in a cocky full of himself how he's married to Sarah, who he has a kid with and has sex with every night, and yet he's a lying dirtbag asshole with cheating on his wife. What a fucking hypocrite. While the movie had some decent performances and good kills, the movie came out in 3D. I own this movie on Blu-ray. Watching the 3D effect objects are not that good. It's distracting and irritating. I don't care about 3D, I could care less. I'd rather watch a movie instead. Some of the kills are a combination of CGI and practical, while some of the kills are creative, but that's not the problem. The CGI is crap. Harry Warden kills the girl with a shovel and shoves it in her mouth, and her mouth and body cuts in half. Harry Warden kills a naked chick who was friends with Sarah and used to date Axel. Her asshole truck driver boyfriend secretly filmed them having sex. She gets mad and pissed off. He wants to break up with her. Just as he was about to get on his truck and hit the road, Harry Warden kills him, and then he kills the naked girl. This was insane. This truck driver only had 2 days left before retirement. When TJ's in the mine, Harry Warden locks him up while he watches an employee get killed right in front of his eyes, but because TJ was the killer, as we find out, TJ's the one that killed the employee and covered up the crime and made it look like he got stuck and locked up. When this movie came out, Jensen Ackles was big at the time with the TV show Supernatural, but did not save the remake for being a big hit. Megan Boone you all might recognize from The Blacklist with James Spader. This is one of her early roles before her breakout in the TV show Blacklist. She played Axel's girlfriend. She works at the grocery store with Axel's wife. Complicated working relationship at the job. Harry Warden kills her when her and Sarah were trying to escape the supermarket when Harry Warden was on site. As I mentioned earlier, it's never a horror remake with a little homage and tribute of the box of chocolates with a real heart inside that Harry Warden sends out to people that he wants to kill. This movie did alright. It wasn't a big mega hit as they had hoped for. They wanted to make a sequel, but it was canceled instead. I'm fine with this movie not having a sequel or the original. Heck, even the original My Bloody Valentine also wanted to do a sequel, but because that movie was also not a hit, they never went far with the material they wanted to make with a sequel to the original My Bloody Valentine. Between these two movies, if I had to choose, I choose the original over the remake, but again, at the same time, I'm okay and neutral with the remake, but I'll admit, it can't be a struggle to decide which one was better because both of them have their pros and cons. As I said earlier, the remake was not perfect, it was okay, but I understand it's not for everyone. If you're someone who watched the original a long time ago, way before the remake, this may not be for you. Have a happy Valentine's Day, everyone. Remember, don't go down the mine shaft and get killed by Harry Warden.